here! Finish him!
Welcome back to Plot 27 Recaps. The story begins with a young Kitana receiving a gift from her father, King Jared of Ednea. King Jared tells her that the necklace was a gift from Lord Raiden, the god of thunder. Soon after, the soldiers report that Shao Kahn has arrived, the emperor of Outworld who seeks to unite all realms under his rule. However, the elder gods created a safeguard, and the fate of each realm would be decided through combat. If one realm wins the tournament 10 consecutive times, they are granted control over another realm. Outworld is allowed to plunder Edenia's resources and enslave its people. That day marks the final tournament and Edenia's last chance. All of their greatest warriors have fallen, leaving only one fighter standing, King Jared, who must face Shao Kahn himself. Shao Kahn kills King Jared in front of Kitana and her mother, Queen Sindel. He then conquers Ednea in the name of Outworld and takes both Queen Sindel and Princess Kitana as his own. Years later, the now-grown Kitana trains alongside her loyal bodyguard, Jade. 20 years earlier, the Emperor assigned Jade to protect Kitana, and over time, Kitana came to see her as a sister. Jade presents Kitana with a weapon for the tournament, a pair of razor-sharp steel fans. The two later appear before Shao Kahn, who has submitted a petition to the Elder Gods to begin the tournament. Shao Kahn is confident that they will easily defeat the champions chosen by Raiden and finally conquer Earthrealm. Shortly afterward, Shang Tsung reports that his spies have discovered the location of Shinnok's amulet, the relic they have been searching for. It was last seen in Raiden's temple after being stolen by a mercenary named Kano. Queen Sindel explains that Shinnok's amulet can heal any wound and even turn mortals into gods. But to charge the amulet requires impossible amounts of power. They would need to capture a star from the heavens, and by star they mean a god. Meanwhile, Raiden gathers Earthrealm's champions. Mortal Kombat will begin once the sand in Raiden's hand runs out, but they are still missing one final champion. As a famous 90s Hollywood action star, Johnny Cage is attending a martial arts cultural expo. After the event, Raiden and Sonya Blade approach him. Raiden says that Johnny has been chosen for Mortal Kombat, but Johnny refuses unless there's money involved. Sonya explains that Mortal Kombat is a tournament that will decide the fate of humanity itself, but Johnny still declines. Raiden insists that Johnny has been chosen as one of Earthrealm's champions, but Johnny assumes Raiden is just some guy in cosplay. Sonya tells Raiden to show his powers so Johnny will believe them. After witnessing Raiden's abilities firsthand, Johnny finally agrees to join them and arrives at Raiden's Sky Temple. There, Johnny and Sonya see three warriors training: Jax Briggs, Cole Young, and Liu Kang. Jax is a Special Forces soldier, Cole is a descendant of Scorpion, and Liu Kang is the strongest fighter they have. After seeing their abilities, Johnny starts doubting himself because he's only a movie actor. Sonya explains that unlocking Johnny's powers would normally take months of training, but they simply do not have that kind of time. She also reveals that Johnny was chosen to replace Kung Lao, who was killed by Shang Tsung. Hearing this, Johnny immediately asks Raiden to send him back home. Raiden then explains that Earthrealm has faced the challenge 9 times before and lost every single time. Now, Shao Kahn seeks to conquer Earthrealm once and for all. Raiden tells Johnny that this tournament is a war for the fate of his world. Jax and Cole try convincing Johnny that Earthrealm's survival depends on them, because if they lose one more time, the world will be destroyed. Despite this, Johnny still decides to leave. He claims he is just an actor with no real powers, but Sonya reminds him that before becoming an actor, he earned 5 black belts and even became a world champion. Seeing Johnny still unsure of himself, Raiden opens a portal so he can leave. Meanwhile, under Shao Kahn's orders, Quan Chi prepares to resurrect Kung Lao as a warrior for Outworld. Kitana learns that Quan Chi has sent his followers to Earthrealm and asks what they are doing there. Quan Chi replies that Shao Kahn ordered them to retrieve a lost asset, Kano's corpse, who was previously killed by Sonya. At a bar, Johnny meets one of his fans, but admits that his glory days are over. With Quan Chi's dark magic, Kano is brought back to life. The tournament finally begins, and Raiden tells his champions to fight for Earthrealm and for everyone they care about. 2 Earthrealm champions are selected to compete that day. Sonya leaves first for her battle, followed by Johnny, who is hanging out at the bar at the time. Quan Chi retrieves Shinnok's amulet, which Kano stole from Raiden's temple, and soon after, Kitana disappears to face Johnny in combat. Shao Kahn orders Kitana to kill Johnny, but after knocking him unconscious, she spares his life and leaves him behind. In the second match, Sonya must battle the possessed Sindel. Sonya defeats Sindel and kills her. After recovering consciousness, Raiden informs Johnny that he has been eliminated from the tournament, though Kitana mercifully spared his life. Kano demands that Quan Chi fulfill his promise to give him a new eye. Once Quan Chi grants it, he warns Kano never to bother him again. Johnny feels ashamed for losing his fight, but Raiden tells him there must be a reason the gods chose him. Meanwhile, Kitana wears the necklace given to her by her father and secretly meets with Raiden. It turns out that Kitana has been Raiden's spy for years. She reveals that Shao Kahn has found Shinnok's amulet, and if he learns how to fully power it, he will become unstoppable and gain godlike abilities. Since Jade is also participating in the tournament, Kitana asks them not to make her suffer. When Kitana returns, she is shocked to discover that Jade secretly followed her. After learning that Kitana has been working with Raiden, Jade sees her as a traitor. The second round of the tournament will feature Jax, Cole, and Liu Kang. However, they are stunned when Raiden's student, Kung Lao, suddenly appears. Kung Lao claims he has been given a new life, then immediately attacks Raiden and gravely injures him. Shortly after, Shang Tsung appears and uses Shinnok's amulet to absorb most of Raiden's power. Once Raiden's power is captured, Quan Chi implants the amulet into Shao Kahn's body, granting him immortality. Cole is forced to face Shao Kahn, while Jax battles Jade. Jax defeats Jade. Meanwhile, Cole is horrified when the wound on Shao Kahn's neck instantly heals itself. Shao Kahn retaliates and brutally kills Cole. Remembering Kitana's request, Jax chooses to spare Jade's life. At the same time, Liu Kang must face Kung Lao, who has been consumed by darkness. Liu Kang desperately tries to save Kung Lao, whom he sees as a brother. But when Kung Lao continues attacking him, Liu Kang is forced to unleash his power. Kung Lao is ultimately killed by his own weapon. Returning afterward, Liu Kang finds Raiden on the verge of death. Shao Kahn then orders Quan Chi to resurrect his greatest warrior, the first Sub-Zero, Bi-Han. Kitana warns the others that Raiden's portal is weakening and will not survive much longer after his death. They must destroy Shinnok's amulet to reverse the process and save Raiden. She explains that there is a tunnel beneath the castle, the only secret entrance inside. The tunnel is rarely guarded because it serves as the passageway for the Tarkatans, the brutal nomadic mutant race of Outworld. However, after returning from Raiden's temple, Jade arrives with 2 soldiers and captures Kitana. Liu Kang and the others later encounter Baraka, the leader of the Tarkatans. Liu Kang explains that the Tarkatan people have suffered under Shao Kahn's rule for years, treated like slaves and wild dogs. He says they came to end Shao Kahn's reign and asks for Baraka's help, but Baraka refuses because Liu Kang has no army. Johnny then provokes Baraka by calling the Tarkatans a bunch of giant cowards. Furious, Baraka finally accepts Liu Kang's challenge. Johnny is shocked when Baraka decides to fight him instead. Panicking, Johnny reminds everyone that he's only an actor, but with no other choice, he enters the fight. As Johnny gets completely beaten down, Sonya urges him to stand up and act like an actor. Johnny continues fighting, and slowly, his martial arts instincts begin returning. After losing, Baraka praises Johnny's fighting skills and even asks Johnny to train him. Baraka then helps the group travel through the tunnel, leading them to the edge of the castle grounds. Meanwhile, Shao Kahn prepares to punish Kitana for her betrayal. It turns out he ordered Quan Chi to resurrect Sindel once again. Shao Kahn threatens to kill Sindel a second time if Kitana refuses to talk. Seeing her mother in danger, Kitana finally confesses that she traveled to Earthrealm. Kitana explains that she went there searching for Raiden, but by the time she arrived, Raiden and his champions were already gone. After hearing this, Shao Kahn orders his soldiers to chain Kitana in the city square. Meanwhile, Liu Kang and the others infiltrate the castle and split up to search for Shinnok's amulet. Liu Kang eventually finds the amulet, but Shao Kahn suddenly appears and attacks him. Liu Kang unleashes his fire dragon power, yet Shao Kahn remains completely unharmed. Liu Kang orders Jax to destroy the amulet while he holds Shao Kahn off. Soon after, Sonya and Johnny join the battle. As Johnny moves toward the amulet, Shao Kahn commands Bi-Han to protect it. After killing Jax, Shao Kahn drags Sonya and Liu Kang away for the next round. Kano suddenly appears and kills several Outworld soldiers. Meanwhile, Jade urges Kitana to beg for forgiveness, but Kitana refuses and tells Jade that she deserves better than serving them. Kano eventually betrays Shao Kahn because he prefers the wealth and luxury of Earthrealm over Outworld. He reveals that Bi-Han has taken the amulet to the Netherrealm, the realm of the dead. Using the last remnants of his power, Raiden sends Johnny and Kano to the Netherrealm. Upon arriving, they encounter the spirit of Hanzo Hasashi, Scorpion. Johnny explains that Raiden sent them because they need a guide, but Hanzo says they came to the wrong place. However, everything changes when Kano mentions that Bi-Han is still alive, the man who slaughtered Hanzo's entire family. The once beautiful land transforms into a fiery hellscape as Hanzo Hasashi of the Shirai Ryu fully returns as Scorpion. Elsewhere, Shang Tsung speaks with Jade. He reveals that Raiden has sent his last warriors into the Netherrealm to retrieve Shinnok's amulet. Jade asks Shang Tsung to send her there so she can protect the amulet while he deals with Raiden. Hanzo finally reunites with his old enemy. Resurrected by dark magic, Bi-Han has now become the deadly shadow warrior known as Noob Saibot. In the final round, Shao Kahn will face Liu Kang and Sonya, while Scorpion, Johnny, and Kano battle Noob Saibot. As Kano finds himself in danger, he yells at Johnny to unleash his powers. But Johnny is confused because he believes he has no powers at all. Kano manages to knock Shinnok's amulet away from Bi-Han, allowing Johnny to catch it. However, Johnny and Kano immediately argue because neither of them knows how to destroy it. Johnny runs off with the amulet as Bi-Han pursues him. Kano falls off a cliff, while Bi-Han resumes his fight against Scorpion. Liu Kang struggles against Shao Kahn, who eventually mortally wounds him. At that moment, Liu Kang finally understands Raiden's words. He was never the chosen one. He says that Shao Kahn's death belongs to someone else, while his own destiny is to bring back Kung Lao. Liu Kang unleashes his power and dissolves into flames. Sonya manages to free Kitana, but Shao Kahn defeats her and wins the tournament for Outworld. Kitana then declares that Shao Kahn has not truly won because one fighter still remains: herself. She renounces Outworld and rejects Shao Kahn's legacy. With pride and determination, Kitana declares that she now fights for Earthrealm and challenges Shao Kahn herself. Meanwhile, Kano survives and witnesses Scorpion's battle against Noob Saibot.
Get over here!
Bi-Han regains Shinnok's amulet after Johnny falls, but Jade suddenly appears and attacks him. She teams up with Kano and Hanzo to fight Bi-Han together. At the same time, Shang Tsung prepares to kill the weakened Raiden. Johnny regains consciousness after hearing Raiden's voice, while Kitana rises once more to continue fighting Shao Kahn. Johnny's hidden power finally awakens, allowing him to destroy both Shinnok's amulet and Bi-Han. Once the amulet is destroyed, Raiden's powers instantly return, and Kitana resumes her battle against Shao Kahn, who is now nothing more than a mortal man. Kitana removes Shao Kahn's mask and finally kills him. After defeating Shao Kahn, the people of Ednea crown Kitana as their queen. Hanzo finally finds peace after avenging his family. Kitana, now the queen of Ednea, reunites with Jade once again. Meanwhile, Johnny entertains Baraka and the Tarkatan children with exaggerated stories about his adventure. His storytelling is interrupted when Raiden arrives alongside Sonya. Soon after, Kitana and Jade appear as well. Kitana announces that Outworld has been defeated and Earthrealm has been saved. Kano then shows up carrying a captured Quan Chi, believing the sorcerer's powers may still prove useful. Together, they leave to revive the friends they lost along the way, and that's the end of the movie. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more movie recaps.